Morning, y'all. Cornfed lady here, and today we're going to take a look at our new baby bunnies. So come join me. All right, let's go in the Fluffle hut and see how our moms are doing with their new babies. Now, if you're new to our channel, we do raise rabbits for meat here on our homestead, and we have 4 females and 2 males, which is 2 different breeding pairs or sets. The first mom in here's name is Beebs. And Beebs just had 7 babies the day before yesterday. So let's take a look at hers. And here we have Beebs' babies. And again, Beebs just had her babies 2 days ago, and she has 7 of them in here. And you can see they're all doing well. They're all healthy and active. You want to take your baby bunnies out after they're a couple days old and check and make sure that they're active and that they have full bellies like this one and that they're not dead or laying around lethargic. And she does have a little teeny tiny runt here I've been keeping an eye on, but you can see it's got a big fat belly and it's very active. So this runt looks like hopefully it's going to make it. Usually if you lose a baby bunny out of a litter, it will be the runt. But this one looks healthy. All right, let's get you guys back to your mom. You have beautiful babies, Beebs. Would you like them back? There it goes, sweetie. And generally, the mom rabbits will go check out the babies after I put them back in their cage, just to make sure I didn't do anything to them. But Beebs trusts me. She's been here for a couple years now. I believe this is her 5th litter. We'll have to take a look at the charts. Now, we did have one issue this time with having baby bunnies, and that is that Midnight never had her babies. And she's actually 2 days late now. It's okay, Midnight. And if we take a look in her box, you'll see there's no babies in there. Now, she has pulled fur and put fur in her box, and she has put a little hay in here for a nest, but there's no babies. I'm guessing at this point, since she's a couple days late, that she's not actually pregnant and that she's been faking it. I miss Midnight. And that's okay. You're not in trouble. I know you think you're in trouble, but you're not in trouble, huh, Midnight? It's okay. I think she's kind of embarrassed. Now, we'll go back in the house after I'm done looking at the other 2 moms' babies, and we'll check her chart just to make sure that she was properly bred. It's okay, Midnight. It's a good girl. And this is the male that those 2 females have been breeding with, and his name is Mr. McFeely. Now, Mr. McFeely is a Flemish giant, whereas the 2 girls are called New Zealand rabbits. So we've actually made a mix breed with these 2 breeds in here. And a couple of their kids are over here. So these are the result of that mixed breeding. This one is a mix between Flemish giant and New Zealand. And so is this one back here. Now, these are the other 2 females, Pinky and the Brains. And they have had their babies already. Can I check out your babies, Pinky? That's a good girl. And Pinky also had 7 babies yesterday. Now, if you take a look here, her nest is a little bit different. She's got kind of a tunnel going in here. And the babies are all the way back in the tunnel. There's a couple up front here. Let's check them out. Her babies look nice and fat and healthy too. You can see how round the belly is. That's a good healthy baby. It means that it's getting plenty of milk from its mom. And again, she has 7 in here also. They're all kind of tucked up. Some of them are multicolored. Some of them are simply gray or what we call blue in rabbitry. So she's got quite the mix in there. She's got 7 babies. Well, they start off blind with their eyes closed like this one, and over time, in a couple of weeks, they'll start to open up their eyes and hold their ears up straight, and start to sense their world in more ways. Right now, the only way they can sense the world is through touch. So this baby bunny feels me, and it thinks maybe I'm its mom. So it's squirming around looking for where to feed on me. We'll put him back in there. Or her. There you go. And again, you can see Mom's got them covered up with a bunch of fur. That helps keep them warm in case there's any cold drafts. It's pretty warm right now out here. We've had a high in about the 70s lately, so they shouldn't need too much fur, but it does help keep them warm until they grow their own fur, because they're just born bald. All right, let's put Pinky's back and go get the brains. All right, Pinky, all your babies look very healthy. Good job, Mama. Here they are. So you can check on them. There you go. Are they okay in there? Huh? Do you trust me, or do you need to check them? Better check them, make sure. Mama bunnies usually do check their baby bunnies after I've handled them, just to make sure that I didn't do anything unapproved. Is it okay? Does it meet Mama's approval? That's good girl, Pink Pinks. And the last batch of babies for today are Brains, but you can see she's nursing them right now. So I'm going to give her a couple minutes before we take them out to look at them. Okay, looks like she's done feeding her babies, so we'll go ahead and take a peek at them. Now, Brains only had 5 in her litter. And usually when bunnies have less babies in their litter, it will allow them to be bigger. Just because there's more space, there's more food, there's more care for each baby because there's less of them. You still checking them out? Can I look at them? Okay, good girl. And you can see her hair is kind of patchy right now. That's for 2 reasons. 1, bunnies shed once a year, every year, and this is about the time of year. And 2, when they're giving birth, they're always pulling a lot of fur. So you'll see these weird little patches of fur coming out of their back. And that's okay. That's totally natural. All right, Brains, I'm going to check out your babies. So these ones are Brains babies, and she had her babies 3 days ago. So these are going to be the oldest, biggest ones that you've seen yet. Let's see if we can get one out of there. Now again, you'll see they're nice and fat and plump, which means that the moms are feeding them well. No eyes opening yet. Again, the eyes usually open, I've found in our experience, the eyes usually open about 10 days old. And this one's about 3 days old. So it's starting to get its fur, it's starting to get color, but it doesn't have its eyes open yet. So it's still just feeling its way around in this world. And again, she has 5 in here. And you want to make sure to count each of them and check that each of them is healthy and active and plump. So there's 3, 4, and 5. And this one is black. So Brains has 1 black one and 4 multicolored ones, which are called broken. And it looks like those are all broken black. Some of them may be broken blue, which means that the white breaks up their color. This one doesn't have any broken aspect to it, so it's just a solid black. All right, get you guys back in your nest hole. And you always want to put them back where Mom had them. Even though they're in this box, that doesn't mean that they're in the right place unless they're in the nest hole in that box. So I put them back in the back there where she had them, and we'll give those back to Brains. All right, Brains, all 5 of your babies look very fat and healthy. Good job. Here they are. And I put the box back in the same place and oriented in the same direction so she still knows how to get in and out of it, huh, Brains? That's a good mama. Oh, she's mad at me. Well, go check your babies out. Make sure I didn't mess with them. Are they okay in there? You're not going to check them out? You trust me? Okay, good girl. That's good girl, Brains. And you can see these moms, they've had quite a few litters already at this point. They've been giving birth for 2 years now, all of last year and this year. So they're kind of learning the routine, and they're getting used to it. And the boy that we've been breeding those 2 girls with is Chunky Bunny. Did I wake you up from a little nap, Chunks? And Chunky Bunny is the baby of Beebs and McFeely from next door. So that one is Beeb's baby, and these 2 girls are Midnight's babies. That's how we can breed them together without having to worry about any genetic disorders. Now with rabbits, as long as they're not direct litter mates, you can breed them. So these are half siblings and they're perfectly fine to breed. Okay, now I mentioned earlier that Midnight didn't have any babies yet, and I want to check her charts. So I'm going to take you in our house and let you see how I do the bunny bookkeeping. Okay, so here's our binder that we use, and as you can see, we've got it laid out by the month and kind of what we generally do on average each month as far as breeding, harvesting, and whatnot. This book keeps information about not only our gardens, but also our animals. So sometimes we'll have some gardening information, like ideas on how to plant sweet corn, and we also have record-keeping information on our animals, such as a family tree for our rabbits and where they came from. And let's take a look at this breeding attempts page. So these are the bunnies that we're trying to breed and the dates that they were bred on. And then on the side here, I've got numbers of how many successions of fall-offs they had during their breeding session. Now, if you haven't seen any of our rabbit breeding videos, go back and watch that to find out what I'm talking about with these successful fall-offs. So if I look back, it says Midnight and McFeely that were bred on August the 6th of this year. They only had 1 successful fall-off. So generally you want to go for 2 or 3 fall-offs. I have found that 1 fall-off will often still get you babies, but apparently not every time. So that's a note to make in our binder that Midnight did not have a successful pregnancy. So I'm just going to make a note here. Failed. Now what this tells me is next time that I go to breed Midnight, especially, if not all of them, is that we really want to try for these 2 to 3 fall-offs rather than just accepting the 1 to make sure that they do take and become pregnant. But this is why we log everything in our binder, so that if something happens, we can track it, we can go back and look at what happened and learn from it. If you look at some of the individual pages for each mom, for example, this page is Beeb's babies, and she breeds with Mr. McFeely. So you can see the days that they were born, some harvest information, if there were any babies that were lost along the way, that's noted in here. So in here, I'm actually going to also make note on Midnight's page that there was no birth or no litter this time. And I'm just going to put the month and the year on this one since there were no babies. And again, this is just to remind us next time we go to breed them that we need to get in more than just 1 successful fall-off. And in this binder, we also keep track of our other animals. So we have a page for our chicks. We do incubate eggs on our homestead from our egg layers. So this is kind of when we were incubating them, when they hatched, how successful. We have a page for our pigs for when we got them, about when their due dates are for harvest. We just started a page for our turkeys because we got 7 baby turkeys that were 2 days old on May 12th of this year. And again, this will help us keep track of when to harvest them. Also, when are they going to be mature enough to start laying eggs so that we can harvest those or incubate those to make more. I keep a page for preserves. Now this was for last year, and I kind of estimated about how much we went through and how short we were to be able to decide on how much we needed this year. For example, you can see it says we need 60 rabbits. That's about 1 rabbit per week. that we eat. And in the back, I've got a page for our garden, and this is the date that things were planted last year and again this year. And then there are dates that are estimated for when we think we should harvest, and there are actual dates where we harvested. So if you're running your own homestead or if you're doing a lot of projects, I would suggest keeping a binder similar to this, where you have an overview for the year of month by month what needs to be done, and then also have individual pages for each task so that you can keep track of how successful or unsuccessful something was, or just so you can keep track of timing on when to do the next thing. Well, that's about it for today's video. And if you enjoyed seeing these baby bunnies, make sure you go back and watch our other baby bunny videos too. Thanks for visiting our homestead today. Please hit that thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our future updates. Y'all have a good one. Bye.
Know you've been a good friend, and that's in the thick and thin.